welcome to another brand new episode here on Sunny Side Up Farms. How are you all doing? Hopefully you're all having a good day. My day not going too bad. Yet again, starting recording a little bit later than normal, but it's because I'm getting old. Sure it's got nothing to do with it. Anyway, what are we up to today? Well, today we are not wanting that menu. We want this one. So we're going to buy some land today. There we go. Going to buy this field. We're going to buy this field. So we're going to spend pretty much most of our money on land. Mainly because we can. No, mainly because we do need more land. And the other reason being as well is that obviously we're making a lot of money out of that stone again. So what I'm going to do is I've got a little bit more down there that I need to sell, that I will sell, and then the rest of it I won't. I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet, but I won't sell it. So because otherwise we're going to end up, off one job, we're going to end up, being sort of, multi-millionaires, and I don't really want that. I want us to earn our money through farming, not through, sort of digging stone and getting a gazillion pounds for it. It doesn't really feel right. And also as well, I think it would ruin the save, and I don't want that, because I'm really enjoying this, and I want the growth to be natural and steady, not a case of, like I say, we dig a bit of ground and suddenly we made £50 million out of it. Do you know what I mean? I can only sort of begin to wonder how much money I would have had I have decided to make lime out of that stone, because as I say, we got nearly £2 million out of that stone, and the price of stone is like £150 per 1,000 litres. The price of lime is like £4,500 per 1,000 litres. It's astronomical. Don't get me wrong, if I was sort of playing by myself, playing on hard or whatever, that's how I would do it, and that's how I'd make my money, and then I'd just sort of buy the amount of land and the equipment that I want, and just farm from there, sort of thing. But as I say, for this save, I think it would spoil it. Yeah. Anyway, need to say this just before we bloody start. We're already 3 minutes in, so technically we've already started, but I need to say this. So we, at the moment, some of you will know, most of you perhaps, I don't know, but some of you will know, and as I say, for the rest, actually, gonna need a front weight for this machine, because it's a bit heavy. We'll go, I think that one should be okay, but we are going to need a front weight, because as I say, this is quite heavy, which is fine, and is but at the same time, let's just have a look. I didn't even budget, I didn't need a front weight. Oh well. Front weights can actually be very uneconomical on tractors. We very rarely ran front weights on our tractors. So my big Challenger had a front weight. That had a front weight on it, but was it needed? I'm not so sure. My other Challenger, so I used to swap whether I'd put, so depending on what I had on the back of it would depend on whether I put a front weight on. 99% of the time I probably wouldn't, but they might come to me one day and just say, can you put that on, and you're going to need your front weight, and can you just put this amount of weight on? So then I would just add or take away. Once I've got the whole front weight on, I would then just start taking the individual bits out, to get it to the weight that they want it at the front, or whatever was required. But yeah, front weights can be very uneconomical. and cause a lot of compaction and a lot of unnecessary compaction as well, because obviously you've got a lot of weight on the front there and it's causing the front to push in, which is fine if you've got something really heavy on the back. So if I was like using my 6-meter Amazon combination drill, I probably would have a little bit of front weight at the front, just, you know, for when I'm turning and stuff, because it, you know, the tractor would rock and would sort of tip back. I don't think actually I needed to come in here and do this. Let's just have a double check, because this is a subsoiler, so if I don't need to subsoil, I don't need to subsoil. So I won't be doing it in that one. There's no point. So we will be going off. So those other fields are grass fields pretty much, apart from the big field that we bought. That's a wheat field, but obviously we'll keep that because that will go towards feed for our chickens, so we'll keep hold of that one. But the grass fields, don't need the grass fields. I've got more than enough hay bales for the sheep, so I don't need that. And plus we've got our own grass field anyway, which is that field just there. So you know, that's no problem. And like I say, I am going to as well sell one more lot of stone, and then from that stone obviously we'll have enough money, so if we need to buy another grass field we can do. But I just want to turn all these over to arable. So the plan is that these, as I say, will get turned back over to arable, and then we will grow some barley in some of the fields and then some soybeans in the other ones, because for those that watch my channel you know, for a long time, you know, will know that I use soybeans on British maps as harvest peas, just because obviously, you know, this map doesn't have peas installed on it. It's such a shame this isn't a multi-fruit map, like onions, peas, beans, you know, because you could have a real proper good English map saved then. You know, as I say, I have tried to do it, and I did do it successfully, so I got onions in. Having said that, there were some errors in what I'd done, but I don't think it was necessarily with the onions, so I used Farmer Bob's multi-fruit pack, but I tried to just extract the onions from it because I didn't want all the other crops that was in there, and so I think I may have messed it up. So I tried to do it, and then as well, what also got messed up was the British seasons GEO. So as I sort of said in the last episode, I think it was, or the episode before, you know, if there's anyone out there that is able to take the vintage oaks and put and it's the first version, I haven't got the new version of the vintage oaks, it's just the first version, but is able to put onions and stuff, you know, and sort of peas, beans, and, you know, crops like that into the game, then you know, please send you know, a comment or a message or whatever, because I would be really, really grateful if, you know, if that could happen. As I say, onions, peas, beans, you know, and sort of crops like that, just to really sort of make this save. But as I say, what we'll do is we'll get on with ploughing this field. So we'll subsoil. The reason I sort of kind of use this rather than the actual plough that we've got is because I've already done sort of quite a bit of sort of ploughing with a, you know, a sort of more conventional plough, and so I just thought this would be a bit different. I've tried to keep it new and as fresh as I can, and sometimes, as I've said before many times, you know, jobs do get repeated, but they get repeated because it's a farming game, and, you know, I did that. That's just the nature of the, you know, of the beast. Unfortunately, it's the reason why I mentioned that was because the other day, so I play a game called Football Manager. I don't play it much. I'm not very good at it, but every now and again I just enjoy sort of, you know, an hour or so on it, and what have you, and sort of that's my fill then for another, you know, couple of months, and then I might go back to it again, right? So I was on there, but I follow a YouTuber, right, who plays the game, does YouTube video. You know, his channel is built around Football Manager and sort of doing non-league to legend and all of this and all, you know, and what have you, and all these different sort of scenarios, which I try and do myself. But like I say, I'm not very good at the game because I don't have a very good understanding of money, maths, and everything else, and budgets and stuff like that. Then that's, you know, where I sort of fall short. And you know, so, but you know, I enjoy the game just for, you know, for an hour, and you know, just sometimes from a break from farming, because you know I put many hours in on farming, you know, across FS22, and I've now started to play a lot more of FS25. They still haven't fixed it all that brilliantly, but I found a good map that I'm really enjoying, and I'm sort of doing a private thing of, can I take the map as I've downloaded it and completely change the feel of it and completely change the look of it without like going into Giant's Editor? So just like basically anything and everything I can do in game, can I change the look and feel of that map? Can I turn it from a German map, which I assume it's a German map, just, you know, mainly because of the name, it's a sort of German sounding name that's probably highly offensive to so many people, and I do apologize, but you know, and it's like, can I turn it, can I change the feel, can I change the look, and can I make it feel like a really good British map? And that's the kind of sort of challenge that I've set myself. And obviously all the money that you know, I spend on sort of decorations, hedges, trees, you know, buildings and stuff, I have to earn through farming, so I can't just edit the money in, because otherwise what's the point? And I thought, you know, that's going to take quite a lot of years and money to change, and I'm sort of really getting into that. I'm really enjoying that, and you know, it's a case of, like, as I say, can I make the map at the end of that save look completely different to the map that you start with? And the map that you start with is, there's no farms, there's no pre-built farms, apart from there's a bit of a concrete area where the map makers sort of put 2 sheds, and a really small silo, you know, and as I say, it's a 4 times map. The fields are quite big, they're not massively big, they're not as big as on this map, nowhere near. There's a lot more of them as well. There's over 200 fields, and as I say, the idea is, can I change the feel? But also as well, my kind of goal alongside of that is, can I own the map and farm the map successfully? And that's what's going to be the aim of this save as well, is like, can I own the map and can I farm it, you know, without crops withering, without missing anything, and do whatever. I'm going to need a lot of help from course players. We get bigger and bigger and bigger, you know, that is for sure, and auto drive and, you know, sort of things like that. But the auto drive is brilliantly set up on this map, so that isn't going to be an issue. The only issue I'm going to have is the tractors and trailers colliding with each other coming to and from the fields. I'm not really sure how I can get around that. So the people that made it, and they're not the only ones, like, you know, a lot of people do this. I don't know why they don't loop it, make circuits. So, you know, from this side of the map to go to the farm and to come back again, we need to go to the farm one way, but then we need to come a second route sort of back to the field, so that they're not colliding, because a lot of the roads on this map are like single lane roads. So you know, it is a real big problem, because I have played again a private, you know, not private, but I have played a save where I bought all the map, had the equipment, and tried to do it, and in the end it got too frustrating, because, as I say, they were just colliding, you know, either coming in and out of the fields, or you know, sort of, as I say, on the roads, because 2 tractors are trying to use one single road, one single lane road, and it doesn't go well together. Whereas on the map that I'm playing on FS25, because I'm trying to do the auto drive courses, firstly, all the roads virtually are 2-lane, which really helps. But secondly, I am getting them to do circuits, you know, so that they're not actually where there's not a 2-lane road. They're not actually meeting, so they're going one way and then coming back a different way. Obviously, still ending up at the field, and so far so good with that. That's the only thing I would have done different on here. But yeah, otherwise, as I say, you know, auto drive's going to really help us. Course play is definitely going to help us. Course play is just unbelievable. In my opinion, it's a far better mod than auto drive. It's a shame auto drive really in a way came out, because the way that you used to do the courses for the tractors and trailers with course play was fantastic for 2 reasons. One is you didn't need to start and end the course in the same place, so it meant that you could start the course on one side of the field and they could leave out of that gateway, but you could end the course with them coming in a different gateway and park in the opposite end of the field. So it meant that when one tractor and trailer was waiting and the other tractor and trailer was full, or if you were a long way from the farm and you had, say, 3 or 4 tractors and trailers, well, the ones that were empty were one side of the field, but the ones that were, you know, as they were filling, they were going to the other side of the field and starting the course, and that was absolutely fantastic. You can't do that with auto drive, or at least I've not found a way to be able to do it, because it just says unable to reach is it course or waypoint or whatever, and so therefore, like I say, it's you know, you're sort of not able to do it, and it's such a shame. As I say, like, you know, auto drive is sort of good, but course play was a lot better at it, and it was a lot easier to use as well. Course play, I do find auto drive very tricky as a mod to use, and I realise that might just be me because everybody else seems to be doing fine, but you know, course play and myself were made for each other. I just, from day one, I just kind of like understood it, picked it up, and it was like, yeah, this is brilliant. You know, as I say, you know, sort of FS sort of 17, 15, 17, well, 13, 15, 17 was the ultimate in course play, because, as I say, you could, the whole computer AI driving sort of thing was done via course play, and it was just so straightforward to use and so easy to use. So, as I say, I do find auto drive quite tricky, but that might, yeah, probably more just me. But yeah, so anyway, what we're going to do, we're going to crack on with this, and we'll get these fields done. Hopefully we'll get them all done in this episode, and then the next episode, tomorrow's episode, is going to be drilling. And I am going to just now go back to when I said, now I just need to say this before we bloody start, when I was at the shop. So those of you, some of you will know, some of you won't, that the snooker World Championships is on at Sheffield at the moment. Now, I usually am organised, and I've got a ticket that will be over 4 or 5 days, because it's on for 2 weeks. It's on television from 10 in the morning till, you know, it finishes at night, and usually, as I say, I'm organised, and I usually get, you know, sort of 3, 4, 5 tickets, you know, over sort of, well, get a ticket for a day ticket for 5 days of the Crucible. This year I didn't. Funny enough, actually, last year I didn't, but it didn't really impact me last year. So what I did last year was I signed myself up to what's called I think it's the reserve list or something. And so basically, if a ticket comes available, or if you know, a ticket can't be used, or whatever, you know, but if they find themselves able to accommodate, you know, another person or another few people, because I went yesterday. So yesterday 1950s, I said that I was going to the snooker, which I did. I didn't get an all-day ticket. I only got an afternoon and evening ticket. So I went. So what might happen is, and I don't know when it's going to happen, and it might not happen, but I'm sort of kind of saying this in case it does happen. There might be a couple of days where there's no videos, and that's just because I've either got a day ticket to the Crucible, or maybe a morning ticket, or whatever. And as I say, it comes around once a year, and you know, now that I'm sort of kind of young, free, and single, you know, and I can sort of do these, you know, do these little things. And also as well, for those of you again that especially watched yesterday's 1950s video episode, I suffer really badly with anxiety and depression and sort of stuff like that, and it's has made me quite agoraphobic. I won't go out. I don't want to face people. I don't want to face, you know, sort of the outside world, and so therefore I tend to stay in. And I've been working a lot with a guy called Alan. I would give you his second name, but I don't know what it is. I just know him as Alan. So, and I've been working a lot with him over the last sort of 5 years or so, 5 or 6 years, and he's getting me to the point now where, you know, I can sort of, well, this year, you know, I've driven to Hensford. I've done things this year that I wouldn't normally do. And he's now trying to persuade me to go on holiday by myself, which I'm not too keen on. But he's sort of saying, yeah, we can do it. Where do you want to go? Anywhere in the world. Come on, I can get you there. It's like, you know, well, would you come with me? He's like, no, I'm not coming with you, but I'll be on the end of the phone. You know, so, but yeah, so he's trying to get me out and do these things. And 2 years ago, he got me to buy a ticket to the Crucible, because it was somewhere I really wanted to go, and we did a lot of work around, you know, getting there. A lot of work with Sheffield, a lot of work with the people that run the Crucible, in allowing me to sort of go backstage, allowing me to kind of know where all the exits are, know where all the loos are, because unfortunately with my anxiety, one of the sort of side effects to that is it does make me, what can I say, without being disgusting, it makes me go to the loo. You know, it sort of, you know, yeah, it just makes me go to the loo, because I don't want to be too graphic, because people don't need to know, but and I'm sure you're all following what I'm saying, and so as I say, we're doing a lot of work, and this is part of it. And last year I wasn't organised, and I did forget. I did partly forget, but I was going through a really sort of down period, which I get a lot, and so I didn't do it. But he then got in touch with the Crucible, explained what was going on, and they said, well, he could go onto the reserve list, which is a thing we have where, you know, you don't obviously have a ticket, but if one comes available, if we can accommodate another person or another few people, then we ring people off the reserve list. And last year they were quite good, so I managed to get to 5 days last year. This year so far I've done 2. Did one on Sunday and one yesterday, which was Wednesday as I record this. So I've done 2 this year so far. I could have had a ticket for Saturday, but unfortunately I'm going racing Saturday. So racing this year, as many people will know, I'm trying to do as many meetings as possible and going all over the sort of country to it, to, you know, again improve and to get better. So I've been doing that. But basically, as I say, all I'm kind of saying is that there may be a few days next week. As I record this will go out sort of next week or the week after next week. So Tomorrow will be Friday, obviously. I don't know whether a week Friday there'll be a video or not, because if I can go again tomorrow, obviously I will do. I haven't heard anything for today. Usually here by about 9 o'clock in the morning. I haven't heard anything for today, so you know, that might not be happening today. Hence the reason, obviously, why I'm recording, because if I haven't heard anything, I've got to get on with the day, sort of thing. But yeah, so over next week and the week after, there may be a few days missing here and there where you know, there hasn't been a video or whatever. And it's the same for last Monday. So last Monday, as I say, I went the first weekend, and so I didn't get a chance to record that episode. But as I say, after the Crucible is finished, we will go back to normal. But yeah, so I thank you very much for your understanding and for your patience whilst, but obviously, you know, when you have something like, that's because of FS25 why I did that. I pressed H to connect to the line. Yeah, so that's because of FS25. But yeah, so as I say, when you've had anxiety and you've had stuff like that, you have to, you know, and someone's offering treatment, and we've been doing it for 5 years now, and it's taken it's taken 5 years to get to this point, and I'm starting to sort of reap the rewards and the benefits. And I've started to kind of look at, and again, Alan has kind of said this, because, you know, I get a bit down with the views and the numbers and everything. And Alan has said, well, if you think about it, he said, like, it's taken you 5 years to go from I'm not going out to I'll go out, you know, once every 6 months, to I'll go out, you know, once every 3 months, to I'll go out, you know, once a month, to we're now doing this. He said maybe YouTube is the same. Maybe actually that, you know, it's going to be over a period of 3 or 4 or 5 years before, you know, YouTube kind of is pushing you, and people are noticing, and people are signing up, and you know, and you know, he said, so, you know, whilst it probably is very disappointing, don't take it personally against you. There's a billion people on YouTube, and you know, you're a very small fish in a very, very big sea, and you know, it's going to take a while for people to you know, to notice you, and to, you know, start viewing and getting the regular views, and you know, so he said, like, you know, I wouldn't take that so personally, and so I've started to kind of look at YouTube as a sort of 5-year thing. So we've just sort of recently, a couple of months ago, we completed year 1, and as I say, with 666, I think, subscribers now, which is amazing. You know, that's not a bad year. If we can do 666 in the next year, you know, we're doing very well. But I would like the numbers to come up a little bit, the views, because, you know, as I say, I try my hardest to make, you know, good videos, and to make interesting videos, and to make different videos. Like I say, you know, it is a farming channel, so some episodes are going to be back-to-back drilling, or back-to-back combining, or, you know, ploughing, or whatever. I can't help that, you know, that's just the nature of the beast. And like I said with the Football Manager, what I was going to say was, I was watching the guy the other day, and I noticed in the comment, and someone said, all you do every video is play football games, as in, he said, like, football matches, you know, what about the rest of it? And it's like, well, it's a football game. It's like, it's a bit like, you know, tuning into a FIFA you know, sort of channel, and sort of saying, but all I ever see on your channel is you playing pretend games of football. It's like, well, yeah, that's the game, you know, that's why he does it, or she does it, or, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, so you know, as I say, you know, because it is a farming game, because that's what I love to do, you know, there are times, you know, when jobs are going to be the same. It's like yesterday, not yesterday, sorry, the day before. You know, playing the map that I'm sort of trying to alter and change, and you know, I'd sort of that. So what day would that have been? That would have been Tuesday. So I'd just completed sort of 2 and a bit days of harvesting red beets, and you know, but I don't mind that, because you know that was what it was. I mean, you know, when you work on a real farm, yeah, all right, YouTube you can't do like as if you work on a real farm, you know, where you have endless weeks of the same. But you know, that's what it was. You know, I used to go months and months and months just ploughing fields, and that's literally all I did. You know, I know I can't get away with that on YouTube, but as I say, you know, if there are a couple of days, a couple of episodes, sorry, of ploughing, or let's say combining, you know, that's just the way it is. And you know, I'm sort of gonna the other thing as well is what Alan kind of told me was, do it your way, not everybody else's way. He said, like, you know, if you're trying to be like everybody else, that's not natural to you. So he said, like, just do it your way. He said, and I think in time it will happen. You know, but you just got to you've just got to be patient with that. But you know, do it your way. If that's how you farm, if that's how you play the game, you know, play the game the way you play it, and don't try and look at other YouTubers. Which is why I've kind of largely stopped looking at farm sim channels now, because I was finding that I was sort of kind of thinking, okay, I'll do that. Okay, well, that's what they did, so I'll, you know, and then I'm sort of doing it in the videos, and sometimes I've watched the videos back and thought that didn't really feel that natural, that didn't feel right for me and for my channel, and so I'm just going to do it my way. Excuse me, and hope that you know, people like and approve. But anyway, I am going to switch over to some time lapse now, and we'll get this well, I say we'll try and get these fields done, and then we will in the next episode, hopefully, if I'm not going to snooker tomorrow, we'll get the drilling done. I'd say some will be barley and some will be soybeans for the peas. But yeah, so I'll see you in a little bit. Bye for now. Right, so I'm back. Hopefully you all enjoyed that little bit of time lapse and some music. And as I say, we've got this almost complete now, which is good. And then, as I say, tomorrow in the next episode we will get, or whether it be tomorrow or whether it be the following week, I don't know, but just depends on what happens in terms of the snooker. So I've been sent a text from them, so I'm just trying to keep you updated with what's going on. I don't sort of want anyone to think that I'm try in any way, shape or form trying to show off or anything like that. I'm not. Just want to keep you informed, want to keep you up to date with what's going on. And I've managed to get at the moment 4 tickets for next week over a couple of free days. So as I say, just for this fortnight every year, I always press the wrong bleeding button. There is a chance there'll be gaps. But yeah, so I've sort of been notified that it doesn't look like there's mounds there, and then until you hit them, I apologise for a couple of times in the time lapse stopping and smoothing out the terrain. But if I don't do it while I'm sort of running over it, I tend to forget, and then I'll it will just be one of those things that I intend to do and just never do because I always forget off camera. So I just thought, for the few seconds that it would take to smooth out, I might as well just do it while I was there. What we'll do is we will very quickly put this back in the farm, and then actually we need to take that back as well. but I want to see if I can get hold of one more field maybe. Like I say, we've still got we've still got quite a bit of stone to sell, which I will sell and I will take the money for. But after that, for the rest that I've got to do, I won't be selling. I'll just find a way of getting rid of it. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I will find a way. And right, so what we'll do is we will just go and quickly check on making sure that the sugar beet came up. It did come up, that's good. So I hope you enjoyed last week's sugar beet drilling video. It was quite nice to have the front cultivator on and obviously the rear cultivator to go with it, and this sugar beet looks really good. Obviously just needs a fertilize application put on it, which is no problem. We can obviously do that, and then yeah, we'll be looking good for getting some nice sugar beet off there for the piggies, which is the next big thing that we want to do as well, or want to get as well. So if I just drop in here somewhere, yep, not too bad. Right, so this is what I've been doing so far. As you know, this is what we've sort of done. I don't quite know how I'm going to tidy that up and make that look nice, whether I sort of paint the grass on that or whether I leave it as it is, because that does sort of look relatively natural, and just smooth it off maybe. I'm not sure yet, but as I say, we're getting our way down, so I'm sort of taking big chunks as I go, selling off the gravel or the stone or whatever, and yeah, we're getting, but I'm getting through it, you know, and slowly but surely it's beginning to take shape. As I say, the abattoir is going to run from that side all the way down to that way, and then that way I don't have to take as much off here then, because I want to keep so from the hedge here over here, I want to try and keep everything this side of the hedge. I want to keep that for the turbines and the solar panels, so that as I say, we then generate the electricity to power our thingy. But yeah, as I say, we're not doing too bad here, and we're getting on quite nicely. And as I say, what I'm going to do is I'm going to dig out the remainder and sell the stone. So dig that bit out as I'm doing, because I'm sort of going across, as you can see. So I shall dig all the way down there out, dig that one out, that side, so it's level with the back bit here, and all the stone that I get from that I will sell. By dropping it on the floor, I found that you do actually lose quite a lot of it anyway. I don't know why that is, and I don't know how that is, but so for example, if I was to put 100,000 litres of stone on the ground, when I lift it back up again, because I've tried it with a trailer, I put 100,000 litres down and then lifted it back up with the big excavator, which is that one. When I lifted it back up again, I only had 65,000 litres, so it's quite a significant drop in the amount of stone. And I've been doing it that way to try and so as we don't earn a gazillion pounds out of it. But I say I'm going to get this bit what I've started now all done and level at the back there, sell all the stone for that, and then as I say, then after we'll well, let me know in the comments. I mean, are you okay with me selling the stone and making the money that I'm making, or would you rather I didn't? Would you rather I just got rid of the stone? I mean, I'll find a way of getting rid of it so we don't get no money. The quickest way I can think of is to put it into a trailer and then just get rid of the trailer, sell the trailer, and that will take all the stone with it. So there are a few options I think available to us, but yeah, let me know in the comments. Are you okay with me taking the money and saying, well, this is your land and you're earning the money from it the same way that you would earn a crop, or as I say, the actual price of stone is not that much. If I go, haven't got any. Let's just go down here. Stones. So it's 154 and 147 at that selling station, which is what I added in originally, because I didn't think this map would have anywhere. I, for some reason, didn't look before I put the sell point down, and then when I put the sell point down, I then came to stones to make sure that it was working, and then it was like, oh, I can sell it at the at the train. It's kind of like, I wish I'd looked at that first, but yeah, so I put a sell point down. But as I say, you're not getting that much. Whereas if I was to sell the lime, so that's if I wanted to buy it. But if I had, if I just find it, I'm not going to put it down because obviously, I don't. Well, I suppose I have got the money, but I'm not going to put it down. But if I was to get that, put that down there, then switch it to automatic selling. It doesn't charge me for selling as all the other production points would do. It doesn't charge me for selling, and I would end up getting 4,500 and whatever it was per 1,000 litres. So hence the reason why I've been doing it the way that I've been doing it. But yeah, so that's what I've been up to. Anyway, thanks ever so much for watching this episode. I'm going to end it here. And as I say, whether we do actually get an episode tomorrow or not, I don't know. It just depends on what happens. I'm going to certainly this afternoon record a little bit in preparation in case I am recording, the next episode, or if not, as I say, you'll just kind of have to, for this couple of weeks, take my, well, it'll be a week now. By the time actually this video goes out, it'll be even less than a week. But if the week that's passed, if there's been days when there hasn't been videos, that's the reason why there hasn't been videos. It's because of the snooker. And as I say, it ends on Bank Holiday Monday, and then on the Tuesday I'll be back to normal, and the recording schedule will be, as it was, and we'll be away again. So as I say, I hope you can sort of understand, and I do in advance thank you for your time and patience. I really appreciate it. And yeah, all that's left for me to say is thanks ever so much for watching this episode. I've really enjoyed having your company, and I can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye for now.